Welcome to Jackal DIY and Tech. In today's video, I'll go over some of the monitors that you can buy. Now the monitors in question will be 24 inches like this one, but they will have more FPS. Now this video got a lot of views and also a lot of comments, and most of the comments are about does this support PS5 and Xbox. Now while you can use any monitor with the consoles, if the monitor does not support more than 120 Hz, well then the console will play at 60 frames. So in this video I will address that issue. I did go by price and frames per second, and the list will go in alphabetical order, so at this point I have no idea which monitor is priced the best and what features it offers. Now the first one, we have AOC Gaming 24G2SAE. A quick look what the monitor has. Nothing really stands out from the images. So let's take a look at the specs. So 24 inches, 165 Hz, and let's see what else do we have. So it has a VESA mount, VA panel, so it has high contrast. It also has a brightness that is higher than usual for the monitors in lower price point, a VGA, 2 HDMIs and 1 display port, and it also has speakers. Now I did not see any buttons, actually I do, and you control the monitor with the buttons on the bottom right side, so this is good. I don't really like the thumbsticks because you have all of the controls on just one thumbstick. And the price point, 124 euros. This is pretty decent. So it also has the FreeSync, 1 milliseconds response time, low input lag, and all of the other marketing material that stands out. And it was first available in 2021, so it's at least 3 years old. Now if any of the monitors will stand out to you, what you can do is go to display specifications. This is what I usually use. Put a monitor in. I will show you this one in a second. So you can click on this button to list all of the monitors. You can also specify the years of production and all of that, or just type in the name. In this case, it would be this one. Now, because there is a lot of monitors, not all of them are on this website, as you can see. So maybe you have to delete the last letters. Maybe this will find something. And maybe this one's it, but who knows. So in this case it's SAE. Maybe this one is the one that I want. Not really, so in this case you would have to go to the AOC website to find the actual specs. Otherwise you do have a quick comparison, but not all of the data may be correct. And in this specific case, this monitor version is not the one that I was looking at, because this panel type is IPS and this one is VA. Next up we have the Asus TUF Gaming VG249Q1R, 165 Hz like previously, 1 milliseconds response time, FreeSync. This one is IPS panel, and let's see what the images will tell us. Same as before, not a lot. What about the description? Also not much. What about the actual description? So by default this monitor is 144 Hz, but you can overclock it to 165, so that is something to take into account. It is not 165 out of the box. It has the FreeSync, shadow boost, and let's see, what about the connections? That is what I'm most interested in. So it has DisplayPort, HDMI 1 and HDMI 2, and then earphone jack. Now also what you may want to consider is the Hertz and ports. Usually if you have two HDMIs, only one will support the, in this case, overclocked frequency of 165, and not all of the ports support that frequency. Date first available, July 2020. So this monitor is also older than the AOC Gaming one. Will this one be available in here? Let's see. it is, so we can click on it and see the quick specs. So the model year is correct, it has an IPS panel. Now the panel width, usually it says 8 bits. On chip monitors, as you can see, this means 6 bits plus FRC. As you can see, frame rate control, and this is what it is. So you can read what this does. In this case, as you can see, the brightness is low, so the VA panel has a greater brightness, and also static contrast is usually 1000 to 1 in IPS panels. And down here we have, yes, it has the VISA mount. On the monitors it's usually 75 by 75 or 100 by 100. And also the stands don't have adjustable height and also no landscape pivot, and the swivel, but they do tilt forward and backward. This monitor also has the speakers, and we have the connectivity down here. Now for the price of 141 euros, I think the AOC one looks better, at least on paper. Next up we have the BenQ. It's cheaper in price, also has 165 Hz, 1 millisecond response time, and DisplayPort is compatible with 120 Hz for PS5, Xbox Series X and Series S. So this one is specifically pointing out that you can use the consoles with this monitor. Do we see anything? Yes, we do. We have the connectivity, so we have HDMI 2 and DisplayPort 2. Now if we take a look at the description, let's go down. So this monitor also has speakers. Now usually the built-in speakers do lack in quality. The monitor was released in August 2022. Let's take a look what display specifications show us, if anything they do. So this is a VA panel. We'll take a look at the brightness in a moment. So the brightness is also low in this VA panel, but as you can see the contrast is good. So if you watch a lot of movies, then a VA panel is what you would want. It also has the VISA mount, no adjustable stand, and let's see, connectivity, HDMI, DisplayPort 1.2. Oh, so it is 1.2, I just misread, so 1.2. So this one compared to the AOC one, I think maybe I would go with the BenQ monitor instead of the AOC one, unless you do need the VGA port, but in this case the VGA port will most definitely not support 165 Hz frequency, most likely up to 75. Now one thing that you should also consider is the warranty, which you won't really find here. You will have to go to the warranty section for the specific monitor on the manufacturer's website. Next up we have these Kurui gaming monitors. So yeah, okay, so this is 24E3, 165 Hz as usual, IPS, 1 millisecond response time, HDMI, DisplayPort, tilt adjust, VISA wall mount, and it's black. If we go over the images, yeah, nothing stands out. I do see the buttons, so I do like the buttons, so you don't have any joystick in the back. And the BenQ I think has a joystick, yep, it has a joystick from the bottom, but I think it has two buttons on the left and right. Maybe one is just an LED. In any case, let's go to the specifications. This one has 3-year warranty, so this is nice, but I have no idea what the warranty looks like from this company. Now I'm a little bit confused because this image shows a thumbstick from the back. So I have no idea which monitor they are trying to promote, because clearly this one has buttons on the front. So if someone posts images, you should take a look, and I don't see any indication that this monitor has buttons in the front. But you do get at least the light that the monitor is turned on. So let's take a look if this monitor shows up. So this one is 24E3, and nope, it does not. Let's just take a quick look if we'll find it on the main website. So we do find it. The website is loading slowly. I'm scrolling like mad and it moves so slow. So this promo material was correct. You have the navigation button here and this is the LED. And that's all that you got. You don't have the controls in the front. You have two HDMIs, a display port, microphone, most likely a headphone, a audio port out. So this is for headphones, and you have the power connection. Now price wise, which one would I go with? This one or the BenQ? Well, if you do want the console support that actually says it will do what it does, then the BenQ. Otherwise, these two monitors are basically the same, except this one is IPS and this one is VA. Next up we have the KTC. This brand got really popular in the budget section, and this monitor is probably the best. And I see it also has a 40 euro voucher, so this one is effectively 120. Did I miss any promos in other monitors? I did not. But just so you know, you can also get other promos in emails and such. In this case, they just have a voucher on the website itself. So price wise, this one is the lowest. What about the specs? 165 IPS, 1 millisecond response time, FreeSync, G-Sync, 125% sRGB, so this one could be the most color accurate, maybe. 2 HDMI 2 and 2 DPIs. It also has a VESA mount, 8-bit color, fast IPS. It's probably 6-bit plus FRC. We'll check it out. But we have no idea how the controls look like. Based on this image, it's probably also a thumbstick on the back. So not much has been shown in the promo images. Now date first available July 2023. That's awesome, meaning it's not old tech. Let's take a look at display specifications. What they have to say? Nothing. Okay. So let's take a look at the official website and what specs they have. So as you can see on the official website, the price is $120, which could be even cheaper than on Amazon. I'm using the German Amazon, so the US one could also have lower price than this one. I'm interested in the back. I don't see any thumbsticks, so this could actually have buttons in the front, but I don't actually see them, so they could be just touch buttons. Maybe one way to know is to check the images from reviews, if we have any. We have the LED, but I don't see any indication how to control the menu. But anyway, let's check if they have anything else that is being presented in this material. Not really. Now price wise, this monitor is best bang for the buck, but it depends on what you need. Next up we have this Lenovo G24T09P. Okay, that's a weird naming. Let's see what they have. 144 Hz and 3-year warranty. Anything else in the specs? Oh, it's quite bulky, at least from the side. You have 2 HDMIs, display port and audio out. As for the buttons, I don't see a thumbstick. I see something on the sides, so I think the buttons are on the side. July 2022. So let's see, G24T09P. Nope. No, I didn't find the exact same monitor, at least based on the name, unless they mistook the name, so that it is this one. And also what I didn't find is if the panel is IPS or VA. So they have 2 HDMIs and a display port. So maybe this is actually the monitor. Maybe the 27 version is an updated version of this one. But I imagine it is the same as this one when it comes to the frequency. So this one was 165 Hz overclock. But what about the panel? So they also have 350 nits, but nothing is being said about the panel. I finally found the information. It is IPS, and 350 brightness is, well, better than 250. So the Lenovo monitor is also something that you can consider, just based on the specs, just based on the company name. I would expect that they respect the warranty in case you have any issues. So the Lenovo G24-27 is also a fine option. Next up we have this Philips Eunia 24 M1 and 3200ZS. Now let's take a look at the promo material. We have two HDMIs, a display port, I think we have audio out and the power adapter, but we also have the thumbstick, as you can see on the right side, if you look at the monitor head-on, that is. So what do we have? 165 Hz 1 millisecond, FreeSync, G-Sync, and anything else. We have the VESA mount. The brightness is low, as you can see, 250. Now, if the price is right, maybe you could consider it. It's 2023, so it is recent. Let's look at display specifications. IPS, they actually have this set as TrueBit, so it's not FRC. Now the brightness is low, so if you want the colors to pop out and have better experience, look for a monitor that has at least 300 to 350 brightness. I think that's it for this one. Would I consider buying it? Only if I had no other options from the other brands. Next up we have the Samsung Odyssey G3A. This is a VA panel, 144 Hz, FreeSync, and all of the other stuff. This one also looks a bit hefty. We have the power connection, headphone in, HDMI display port, and USB service. Now, I think this is the first monitor that has something with the USB. We'll have to look at it, if this is just for updating or if you can actually use the USB in some capacity. Not much info about the USB, so let's see if this is being found on display specifications. Nope. Yep. So it's probably this one. I don't think there will be a lot of differences. This is an older model, as you can see. But let's see if they have a USB section and what the USB does. So USB, and this is the only thing that it finds. So this monitor, which was the older one, does not have the USB. So let's take a look if we have something on the official website, which I think this is what I should be looking at. Let's go with USB. Nothing. Okay, let's download the product datasheet. So this one does not have USB ports. So the monitor does show that it has USB service, but this then makes me believe it's not actually a useful USB port, but just to upgrade the firmware. So if the USB is at that slot, well, that's a waste. And they could use the space for something else. So in this case, Samsung Odyssey G3, I wouldn't select it as my first choice. Next up we have the ViewSonic VX2418C. So this one is a bit curved, as we can see. Low input lag, it also has speakers. What else do we have? 180 Hz refresh rate, so this is probably either overclocked or not the same monitor being sold. It has a VESA mount, two HDMIs, display port, audio out, and the power adapter, and also 2 speakers. As for the buttons on the back, I don't see them. Maybe on the left side I can see the thumbstick. It is an IPS, it does not say. It's probably VA based on the contrast. It's a VA panel. And we do have the thumbstick from the back, which I'm not a fan of. And nothing else that is mentioning the 180 Hz. So let's copy this, go to display specifications. We do have it. And we'll see if this mentions anything about being overclocked to 180 Hz. So in this case, at most, it can be overclocked to 165 Hz if the horizontal frequency is correct. Otherwise, out of the box, the maximum that it can go is 160 Hz. You have to look at both frequencies, the horizontal and the vertical one, and take the lowest maximum value of the two. In this case, 160. Now, is the monitor any good? I have no idea. I have used one previously, also from the VX line, which is one of the cheapest lines they have. I had a 27-inch, and the panel died just a bit outside of the warranty. So if that happens, well, that can basically happen with any monitor. I'm just one guy with one example of a defective monitor, and it happened to be a ViewSonic one. But when it comes to the price, it's still okay. We would have to check the actual datasheet. And lastly, we have the XGaming FHD monitor, 165 IPS, 1 millisecond response time, 2 millisecond gray to gray response time, 99% sRGB, DCI P391, FreeSync, HDR, HDMI, DisplayPort, 165 again, VISA, iClear, and black. And it's the cheapest one, and you can also save 10% at checkout, which would mean that this is the cheapest monitor out of all of them, minus 10%. So the monitor would cost 107 euros, which is the cheapest out of all of them. But is it as good as it is advertised? Well, we only have 52 ratings at 3.9 stars, which would mean it's not really that good. But let's see if anything else stands out. So the monitor has some RGB lighting in the back to give it the gaming effect. It also has the VISA mount, and that's about it. It came out last year, August 2023. Do we have any reviews? We do have some. Now this one immediately was disappointing, but this one was for the 27 version. So it's not the 24 version. So not all of the reviews are actually for the monitor that I'm looking at. Now, can I find this monitor on the display specifications? I would say highly unlikely. Nothing from the XGaming. Do we have any name of the model? Doesn't look like it. Unless they only have one monitor in the lineup, then we should be able to find it. Now, I didn't find any additional information on this monitor, so if you want to take the plunge and get the cheapest gaming monitor that gets up to 165 Hz on 24 inches, then this monitor is for you. Otherwise, I would suggest you take a look at, let's see, first pick would be the KTC one. Then if you need the console, I would definitely go with the BenQ one. And then I think I would go with the Lenovo just for the warranty. And then I think I would go with this one, the Kurui one, maybe the AOC, the Samsung. So these are 10 24-inch gaming monitors, be it IPS or VA panel, with at least 144 Hz and up to 165, maybe even 180 in case of the ViewSonic one, if this is correct. And also I would suggest against overclocking the monitor. At least anything above 144 Hz will most likely not be that noticeable. But what will be noticeable is the monitor dying faster, because if the frequency is higher, the LEDs inside have to switch faster and that makes them go kablooey. And lastly, if you own any of these monitors or have experience with them, let me know in the comments down below. And in the next video, I'll take a look at some of the monitors in the 27-inch section and under 200 euros/dollars.